I know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my super energetic intro. I know it's been a while since I actually post, but the topic that I do want to talk about today is healthy and unhealthy relationships. I want to start off by saying that some steps that I took to get out of my abusive relationship was to contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline, which is 1-800-799-7233, and from there they kind of give me some information, and there's also a live chat, or you can call, one or the other. I also use 7 cups of tea, and it's not really, it's kind of like general basic counseling. It's people that are your age and just have experiences talking to people. They can't really like help you or tell you what to do next. It's kind of within yourself, because you're the only person that knows what you can do next, depending on the person you're dealing with in a domestic violence relationship. But they do offer you support and offer you options, and kind of a way of informing yourself, so you know, it's kind of a way to become aware of what's happening to you and like your surroundings, and if it's true, if you want to stay there, just kind of the basics like that. To start off, I wanted to talk about the power and control wheel that's kind of in an unhealthy relationship. And what it is um, it just shows different parts of how you can be in an abusive relationship, or just in a controlling relationship that doesn't allow you to have an equal or fair relationship. The first one is called using threats, and it's basically when the person you're with makes a threat or carries out a threat, such as suggesting to leave if you do something, suggesting to commit suicide, or forcing you to do something illegal, or just endangering you or that person in order to control your behavior. The second one I was speaking of is using economic abuse, and this is kind of like restricting you from using your own money, or the money that you guys have together. Um, this is a form of control, because you're not allowed to do what you want with your own money. Third one is using privilege. So basically, this is using your gender as a way to set roles and demand attention from your partner. For example, like if I were a male, I would say, you're a woman and your job is to provide for me. You're supposed to cook and clean, and basically you are my slave. If I were a female, I would say, I am a female. I would say, you are a male, you are supposed to provide for me. All of my money is mine, and all of your money is mine as well. This would also be seen in like who would make all of the major choices without considering the other person's feelings. The fourth one is using children against your partner as a way to guilt trip them, or if you're not in a relationship anymore, use visitation rights to kind of harass them and make them feel bad, and you still have to see them, and yada yada yada. The fifth one is called minimizing, denying, and blaming, and this is kind of seen as lying, not caring about the other person's feelings, shifting blame. So like if I were to hit my partner, I'd be like, you're getting hit for the simple fact because you're not doing this, this, this. And that would put the blame on the other person without that person realizing that they're physically attacking another being without any real justifications. The sixth one is using isolation to kind of control your partner. And that would be if I were to have all my partner's personal information, I would tell them who they couldn't talk to and who they could talk to, as a way as not, like, in my relationship, I was not allowed to talk to any males. Zero. Like, zero. Even my dad was a threat to my ex. And he would use jealousy as a way to just justify it, even though it was not justifiable. Because I had friends at school, I needed to study, I had like friends before I was with this person, for them to come and tell me, oh, you can't talk to this person and this person because they're male and I'm scared you're gonna cheat on me. Girl, some Bob, nigga, the fuck you mean? Like, no. The seventh one is using emotional abuse, and this is putting that person down, calling them names, consistently making them feel guilty. And I had this in my relationship where I was consistently called a hoe and a thought, and basically he told me that my body was too sexual, I shouldn't wear this and that, because when he saw me I looked like a hoe, and that people probably presumed the same things, and that's what his friends said, and blah blah blah, and his family said. And I was just like, oh my god. Like, it really had me thinking, like, damn, am I really this, this little Tatina? Like, I had to really think about it. And number eight is using intimidation. And this is like a way you give a dirty look or gestures to like hit, or just like pushing furniture or grabbing something to harm that person, even without even doing it, is kind of a way to invoke control. All these things overall cause a person to feel fearful and not themselves, and it's just a form of control. Like, the will is called power and control, and it's a way that somebody is using these techniques to have power over you, which is basically manipulating you and people around you so they can have you for themselves. Okay, so some basic things to have in a relationship that is considered healthy is mutual respect, trust, honesty, support, fairness, separate individual personalities, great communication, and a sense of playfulness. Like, nothing should ever be taken too seriously, and you should never feel like, oh, I have to stop doing this, or I'm scared that if I say this, my partner's gonna act a different way. And it should never be like that. Like, if your partner can't understand you being straight up with them, and they see it as a bad thing, then you should not be with that person, because they obviously can't handle who you really are. Some traits of a healthy relationship is having good self-esteem, respectable sexual boundaries, allowing and encourage other relationships outside of your actual relationship. You should feel safe, secure, and comfortable. You should be able to openly express yourself to your partner, and to top it up, you should maintain relationships with your family and friends. Some traits of an unhealthy relationship are one person being put first more than the other person, pressure to change because you're not happy with who you are, or your partner is not happy with who you are, so you have to change to fit the people around you or to fit your partner. You always have to justify your actions. If you were to go to a party or to school for too long, or just something, made a quick stop somewhere else, and your partner is asking you consistently, what were you doing, blah blah, and you have no personal space. Again, lack of privacy. If you have to give all your passwords and personal information, bank account information to your partner, it's probably not a healthy relationship. If arguments are never settled fairly, if you never get your way and your partner always gets their way, then there's probably a problem with that. Manipulation. If you feel like you're treated as if you're crazy because you have one idea of the situation. Then your partner comes around and twists everything, and you're lost and you're feeling like they're right, even though you had a reason to feel the way you did. There's lack of fairness. You have too much time with your partner, like you see them all the time, you can't breathe. They never leave you alone. They're always calling you, they're always texting you, or you have too little time. If you're dependent on your partner financially, emotionally, that's really bad because you will never be able to successfully live your own life because everything you do has to be around your partner. If there's too much hostility and if there's sexual abuse, which is really important, no means no. If you're not ready, then you're not ready. If even if you're not ready in the moment, if you had sex with your partner already and you just don't want to, it's fine to not want to. And if they cannot respect that, that person is not for you. You should consider going to professional if you feel like you want to leave and you're unhappy in the relationship, but you can't decide whether or not to accept it, improve it, or actually leave. Or if you decide to leave and somehow you still end up in that relationship. Or if you stay because you feel lonely or fearful that something may happen to you. These are not good reasons to stay in that relationship. Obviously, you're unhappy for some type of reason. So please, please, please do some research, think about yourself, and I'll see you here next week.